Hey guys, it's me, your faithful host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD, and welcome back to our in-depth playthrough of Elden Ring. So we are here at the Storm Shack, and in the last episode, we made our way through the secret passage that will take you alongside Stormveil, just in case you want to skip it, and not deal with it in case you're having trouble with Margit. So the first thing we want to do is, we progressed the quest line for the girl that sits here. There's a golden seed here for us. Let's see if we can upgrade our flasks, because that would give us a grand total of 2. Yep, there we go. Not bad. So now what we'll do real quick, just as a quick intervention, is we're going to go back to the Roundtable Hold because that's where she goes. And the reason that she did this move is because she will either move when you beat Castle Stormveil, or if you just skip it and get to the gray spat behind it.
Greetings. Nice to see you again. My name is Rogier. I should have told you sooner. Isn't this place impressive though? The Roundtable Hold. Covert quarters of the Two Fingers, and gathering place of champions who vie to become Elden Lord. I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us Tarnished had such fantastic roots, although it's all a bit much for me, in truth. I'm still looking for my own purpose. It's all a bit much for me. I'm still looking.
Okay, and we're going to assist her with that.
Be sure to tell me if you meet a young woman. She's a servant. She's been my... I've lost count of
Lanya. Don't worry. I'll find Lanya. It's all good.
Ah, well then.
Okay, make sure we don't have anything new. Alright.
Golden...
All good. And nothing new is going to happen over there, so let's do our thing. We'll head back to the Storm Shack. And we're going to make our way towards Margit. Let's go kick his ass. So now, well, now that I think about it, we did skip this little section here that you're supposed to run through to get to Margit. Oh, cool it. Y'all are not even worth fighting. The only reason I'm going to run down in here is because I think there might be an item or two. Let's see what we got. Okay, yep, there's just a couple items. Nothing crazy, though. Okay, we got a golden rune. And a lump of flesh. Alright, I ain't worried about that. Can honestly care less. But we got it, and I didn't want to forget about it. So now, we're going to run up, and we're going to fight Margit for real. It's so strange that I remembered that at the very last second. Like, I don't know what made that cross my mind. I just know that it's like something so likely to happen in your playthrough is you get so focused on preparing for this fight that you almost forget that there's like an actual road that leads you straight to it. Now when you do get up here, be careful. This thing is going to distract you. There's ballistas. Yep, just like that. Goodness sakes. Alright. So that totally worked on me. I got distracted. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to run up here, and we're going to handle it. There we go. We got a dagger. Alright. Get rid of some of these guys. I mean, honestly, I'm more concerned with scaling the area and looking for items, but... Okay. Looks like we're okay. I mean, honestly, there's There's really nothing stopping us from just running in there and grabbing the Grace, because it doesn't look like there's anything to pick up. Yeah, this is like senseless fighting. Let's just do our thing. So we'll grab this Grace. Nope, sorry pal, you just weren't fast enough. So let me go through my inventory before we step in here and take on this guy. You can summon Rogier for this fight if you want to. I'm not going to, but I'm going to run through my inventory with you guys. I have the wolves, which probably won't need them, but I'll summon them anyway, just because. I've got some fire pots. I've got some of these rancor pots because they proved pretty useful. I'm interested to see what they can do against Margit. And then I have some fire grease, just to give us a little more damage.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition. Extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fell.
So Margit the Fell Omen, he's gonna be like first like big story time boss, right? Let me buff my wolves. Let's see if we can get them to kick his ass. So this thing needs FP. Let me drink my thing. There's going to be some experimenting involved with this. Oh my goodness. That is quite a bit of damage. Alright. Let's try a fire pod now, huh? Now he's going to throw shit at me, huh? So Margit has a bunch of crazy wind-ups, right? Like, he's bad.
Thou art of passing skill.
We got him in phase 2.
Must truly run in thy veins.
Shoot. Now in phase 2, he's going to start using the hammer and stuff, right? Roll late for that attack. Now don't get greedy with Margit. He's got lots of attacks that are designed to really mess with you up close. Oh no, we don't have shield barricade. Okay, let's see about this. Okay, there's the hammer attack. Oh, our other pot was completely wasted. Okay, I should probably heal. He's going to chase me down, though. So Margit has a lot of reach, right? Like, you're going to notice that his attacks, he's got a crazy amount of reach. And some of them come out fast. Some of them come out incredibly slow. And he can cover a ton of distance, right? So what he's really good at doing is punishing you for trying to get away from his attacks. Like, he'll chase you down big time. Like, you just see that combo right there. He'll chase you down. And you really gotta watch out. This is a double hit. If you punish it, get away, because he'll attack with the tail, or he'll turn around and swing you with the hammer. Shoot. Some serious wind-up with these attacks. Or roll late. So, fighting Margit is all about patience. It's all about paying attention to what he can do, and not letting him do it to you. And, you know, it's always safe to attack after that. Just don't get greedy. Don't try to attack him more than once. Now, you see that hand. You see it looks like he's going to grab you after that attack. It's distance activated. He will reach for a dagger, and he'll slice you up if you get too close after that attack. Now, if you have to wait to attack until after the hammer every single time, just do it. It's safe, you know? Now, he does, like, holy damage with those attacks, so it will do damage through the shield, but if you started with a Confessor, you have quite a bit of resistance against those attacks with the Confessor shield. I probably should have equipped that before this fight, but it's all good. We're still gonna beat him. Now, I don't recommend blocking his attacks. Like, I highly recommend trying to roll them, because he's gonna take away a lot of your stamina when you block. Now, I don't recommend attacking after that because it's just a trap. But watch the edges in this fight too, because he can't fall off the edge, but you can. Now, a lot of Margit's attacks are bait. Like, he wants you to get in and get close and try to take advantage of him being, you know, open, when in reality, he ends up not being open. And choose when you want to heal wisely, because, I mean, there aren't very many opportunities. He's tough. I wonder. Okay. I experimented with the crossbow against the Crucible Knight, and this attack. There's the double. And he'll hit you with the tail if you punish him with that attack. You gotta be quick and you gotta get out. Okay. Ooh! What a jerk. Yeah, I won't fall for that. I mean, that's fine, man. I'll finish you like this if I have to. And you get a talisman pouch and a cool dialogue.
Tarnished, smoldering with thy meager flame. Cower in fear of the night. The hands of the Fell Omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Okay. So, Margit, you will likely not beat him on your first try. He's pretty tough. He hits very hard. Even if you do everything that I did in this playthrough up to this point, and you fight him at 46, whatever we are, he can still be pretty challenging. If you slip up against him, he punishes you super hard. But Margit isn't really what I wanted to prepare for. What I wanted to prepare for was Stormveil itself. This is the reason we've done all of this grinding and all of this work, is because Stormveil is going to be your first truly challenging experience. This is going to be your first, like, really shitty, difficult dungeon in this game. And you can either have a good time going through here, or you can have a bad time. But I'm going to cover all of that stuff. Let's see what we got here. There should be an item over the ledge here, I think. Yep. I'm going to do my best to remember where all the items are. It took me quite a long time to figure out how to get all of the sort of hidden, off-the-beaten-path items while doing Stormveil. But I'm also going to try to be conscious of the lighting. I want you guys to be able to see. Here we go. Grab us some fire grease. Got a brand new enemy type here too. It's going to be quite fun to deal with. Can you tell how excited I am? Okay, we'll go through the hole here. Shield up, just in case, because there shouldn't be any enemies right here, but you never know. Should be reflex at this point if you've been playing these Souls games long enough. We got a really cool view right here too. Let's take a look out here. Oh yeah, that there is, depending on where we're pointed on the map. Okay, it looks to be this building right here, I think is what we might be staring at. The big building that we came out of, the first step. That's what it looks like to me. I think it just might be. Cool. Or it's that. That one right there is what it is. That's Castle Morn. Wow, that's crazy that you can see all that stuff. That's so cool. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, enough of that. Let's start pushing our way through here, shall we? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to run into this this shady NPC that's, I don't know. He's not somebody that I would trust, but we're going to take his word for it when we talk to him. Let me look off to the side here real quick. Okay, yeah, you could drop down and get that stuff, but like you wouldn't see the fire grease up on the ledge.
You there? Come over here, would you? You're tarnished, aren't you? I would advise against taking the main gate into the castle. It's tightly guarded by hardened old hands. Oh, try the opening right here. The guards don't know about it. You'll breach the castle undetected.
So, you have a choice here. You can either say very well and you can go through there, or you can say no, I'll use the main gate, and it will cause him to open the gate. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, I have not been able to get this guy to leave Godric's boss room in my playthroughs, but what do you notice about this guy? He's got the thing around his neck, and he looks like the very corpse that has been hanging from, like, you know, buildings and being tied. Like, he's the corpse type that was tied up to the bonfire at Castle Morn. So he looks like one of the servants or whatever he's called, and he is also covered in blood, and he seems to only have one hand, it looks like. But if you say no, he'll open the main gate, and you can try to go that way if you want. I don't recommend it.
Yes, that's the spirit. You're just the kind of tarnished that I like. I pray for your success.
Assuming that he's met other tarnished. That's kind of what it sounds like.
Use that opening to breach the castle. The guards haven't a clue about it. You'll slip right inside undetected. Yes, you're just...
And you can talk to him as many times as you want to if you decide to change your mind. The only appeal to saying you want to use the main gate is this is the gate that will open, and you can try to grab these items right here, but it's not very easy, because I'm pretty sure they're just rune items, so it's not worth it, and you have to deal with the ballistas and stuff. Here's a little bit of foreshadowing here as well. This shield that's on the wall, this coat of arms, those are two Banished Knight halberds with a bunch of Banished Knight great swords. So those are going to be the difficult enemy type that we're going to fight here, because even the regular enemies are kind of a pain in the ass, but these guys that don this armor with those big-ass halberds and swords, they can be a pain in the ass. But your boy LP got you covered. I'm going to show you how to deal with them. So this right here is the route that he was talking about to take into the castle. So we may as well have at it. Now, I'm going to get to this next grace up here, and then I'm going to go off topic a little bit outside of Stormveil. I'm going to start talking about our inventory, and we're going to go through our items and do a little bit of review, just to talk about what the items can do to help us, and all that jazz. And talk about what we have, how it works, and what it can do for us. So we'll grab our smithing stone. We got a tier 2. Killer. I'll take it. There's the grace that I was talking about. Before we actually get to that grace, let's do a little bit of cleanup here. So here's a new enemy type. These are Stormhawks. And yeah, they have swords for feet. Like, what the fuck, Miyazaki? Anyway, these guys are relatively easy to beat, but I highly recommend fighting defensively against them. Like, you can be as aggressive as you want, but they're kind of like the bats. They're a flying enemy, but they are significantly more dangerous than the bats. They do a lot of damage. They've got more diverse attacks that are harder to read, and they can close distance and cut you to pieces with those feet in the blink of an eye. So what I recommend you do against these guys is be smart. Use something that hits hard. Some kind of pulling weapon that's upgraded, like our crossbow. And keep your lock on. Okay, it does not look like he cares at all. I'm fine with that. Maybe we can finish him with the crossbow if he's stupid enough, huh? Okay, this is not happening. It doesn't look like he's terribly stupid. But if you have the ammunition, by all means, finish them with, you know, fire pots, rancor pots, whatever you want, crossbow. You know, fight smart. I like that he's getting stuck on this branch. It's making it easy for me to deal with him, even though he is, like, teleporting? Alright. So here's what you want to do with these guys. Oh no, I forgot. I do not have Barricade shield on. It's very good for them. So, your guard counter is great against these guys, but just not against every attack. Like, do you see that? Do you see how crazy they get? Sometimes they can get pretty hard to hit. But, oh my god. You can jump in the air and hit them, and it's kind of dangerous. I don't recommend it, depending on what kind of weapon you're using, like with the halberd or something like that, is great. But some weapons, as you clearly just saw right there, it's not very smart to do that with. So, before I do anything crazy, I'm going to run over here and get this grace, and we're going to deal with the rest of these Stormhawks. So I'm going to rest at the grace. We should be able to level up again. There we go. Start working towards... I think if I level my strength up just a little bit more, we should be able to use the ballista. I might have to focus on that first. Maybe our next level will go into strength. But, alright. Here we go. So, let's take a look at everything we've picked up. The reason I want to try to dedicate a section of this video to educating you guys on the items, what they can do, and how they can help you, is because in this particular part of the game, when you're going to go into a relatively challenging dungeon where the enemies hit very hard, there's lots of them, and they're placed strategically in places that will really give you a hard time if you don't know what to expect. So, let's take a look at our usables first. We've been picking up the neutralizing boluses, which will cure the poison. These ones are going to cure the scarlet rot, and these aren't super important right now, but we also have an immunizing cured meat, which is good for immunity. And immunity is going to boost your resistances to most of those things, like poison and scarlet rot, and bleed, and whatever else. The pickled turtleneck meat is good for stamina recovery. It's essentially like the green blossom in Dark Souls. And then we have our exalted flesh. Now, I've talked about this plenty and expressed its importance. It's really good for increasing your damage in a pinch, like just before a boss, or if you know you're about to encounter a group of enemies that you want to try to kill them as fast as possible before they gang up on you and kill you. We have the pickled fowlfoot, which the gold version is going to give us more runes when we kill enemies, and the silver version is going to give us higher item discovery. But I don't think we've picked one of those up yet. Our throwables are something I wanted to cover. So by this point in the game, if you've done pretty much everything the way I've done it, you should have basically all of these items in your inventory. These poison darts are going to be great for this place because we can poison enemies that are stronger and have more health, and we can deteriorate their health before they get to us and finish them off. These throwing daggers are going to be useful for pulling. So are these ruin fragments. Like, I've been picking these up just because they're good for pulling. We do have one explosive clump, which this thing is kind of like a fire pot, but like better. Does explosive damage. And then we have these magic throwable items that do cost a little bit of FP, but they'll be useful against certain enemies. And then the warming stone is good for in case we run out of flasks, but we happen to have a little bit of FP left. And I've got the Baldekin's Blessing on me as well. We do have several different greases. I keep making the fire grease because it's just good to have. Like, a lot of these enemies in the beginning of the game are going to be weaker to fire, and that added damage to our flail, however temporary, is just good to have. We have magic grease. We have rot grease. I'm probably going to try to save this for like a boss or something. We have the soporific grease, which is going to put the enemies to sleep. It'll put like a sleep powder on our weapon. And then we also have dragon wound grease, which is good for hurting dragons. So when you fight the dragon bosses, this is what you want to put on your weapon, but we're not worried about that at the moment. We've got rainbow stones, which when thrown on the ground, they will tell you if you're walking on solid ground, and they'll change color every time you throw them down. And it's also good for marking where you've been if you're in a confusing area. That's another great tool to use when you're lost. We have glowstones, which I showed these off already. They can light up the room. We have soft cotton, which will break your fall and get rid of the sound. And then we talked about the glass shard in Castle Morn. And the lantern is something I highly recommend you pick up before you come into Stormveil, because there's going to be some dark spots where we're going to want to be able to see in order to get through. And then we have these carvings that are just like, they communicate, and we don't have the carvings that are good for NPC questlines yet, because believe it or not, these carvings do kind of have a purpose. There's one in particular for box questline that we're going to use. Here's all of our rune consumables. As you can see, our savings account is looking pretty fresh. And then these are all of our multiplayer items. So this big kind of overwhelming page of ingredients, don't worry about it. The only thing you really need to worry about with these ingredients is don't stress on trying to figure out what to do with them, because you're not going to know that until you pick up more of these cookbooks. So as we get more cookbooks, we're going to be able to figure out what we can do with all of these resources that we've been collecting. And if you want like an immediate representation of what these things can do, just go into your crafting menu like this and look around at what you've got. So the biggest ones for us is like the fire pots, like I've been stressing, the exalted flesh, and then we can also do fire grease. Scriptstone is a multiplayer item, don't worry about that. Sleep pots. We're going to make some of these because they're great. So I only have a total of 6 pots. I can make way more than 6 of these, but again, we've only had the opportunity to get 6 of these crack pots so far in the playthrough. And you will find some more in Stormveil. I think there's 2 in this place, but I say for now we make 3. And then the other 3 are going to be dedicated to fire pots. And then we can also make various greases. We can make blood grease, which we don't need that because we already have bleed on our weapon. We can make more fire grease if we need to. We can make poison grease. And then the row raisin is just for torrent. You can create this, feed it to torrent on horseback, but to me the flask is just better. And we can make more poison darts if we need to. And then we can also make different kinds of arrows and bolts. So I'm going to make some firebone bolts because, let's see, we have enough to make a set of 3, and it's times 10, so that'll give us 30. That'll work for me. So, now we are prepared. We have... Shoo, I definitely need more bolts in general, though. Damn. Alright. The fire bolts are going to have a particular use, and you'll see once we get around to it. So this guy. Let's pull this guy. Well, no, let's not. I say we switch shield barricade to this shield because I do not want the parry. Okay. There we go. Standard. Let's look at what we got. Okay, we did pick up the wild strikes. That's good. It's honestly a great Ash of War. I should probably give Golden Vow a break and switch to that, but maybe not. Alright. You. Probably going to end up buying more bolts, but we'll deal with this area first. Oh, yeah. We got the Flight Pinion. So the Flight Pinion is what's used to create higher quality arrows. Now we're going to work our way down here. Fuck these things, man. They're so annoying. I'm going to go into sneak mode here. And the thing is, they're hiding in these trees, too. You do not have free visibility on these guys. Like, they're designed to swoop in and attack you when you're not paying attention. And they come at you fast, too. It's not the easiest thing to read. So, like I mentioned before with the bushes, lock-on is your best friend. You know, we can lock onto the one way out there, but you should be looking up in these trees and stuff. You should be really trying as hard as you can to notice these guys before it's too late. So do you see that? You can't even see those damn things. They're literally in the trees. So let's do our thing and try to pull them one at a time. Well, if we can. Come on. Are you serious? Come on, come on, come on. Don't be like that. There we go. And if it seems like I'm being overly cautious against these birds, know that it is 100% worth it. Like, you get 2 or 3 of these things on you at once, it's a nightmare. You don't want to be in that situation, I promise. So, let's do this. Let's be smart. I'm going to put on some of these throwing items, since we know we have plenty of them. Yeah, there we go. That worked just fine. And the shield barricade is... Oh, nice! We got the sword. Sweet. Let's take a look at it. I'll finish my shield barricade thought in a second. The sword that they use, the Warhawk Talon. Talon swords are affixed to the edge, to the legs of Stormveil's hawks, but this one has been repurposed for human use. The blade is thin and lightweight, so not as to obstruct the hawk's mobility. Spinning slash, not bad. So yeah, it's a light sword, man. It only weighs 3 units. That's as light as the ornamental straight sword, which is small, but it's a dex weapon. It's got C in dexterity, and it needs 16. So this is not like a super duper cool weapon. It's got like relatively shitty reach, but it's got a really cool strong attack, though. But other than that, it just ends up being a straight sword, you know? It's like... It's got a multi-hit strong attack. It's a pretty cool weapon. I did not expect us to get a lucky drop. Okay. And then for this part, we don't have to waste any materials on this guy. We can just sneaky sneaky. And no, you can't backstab them. Nice, we got a tier 3 smithing stone and some more feathers. Cool. Now we're going to start working our way a little further down. Not before we pull this guy, though. Let's get rid of him. Oh, that did good. And there's nothing stopping you from continuing to just peg them with throwing items, right? Like, you can do that. You can handle them. Why not, right? Get creative. Do what works for you. It's okay. You don't have to keep all your throwing knives. And these birds are surprisingly beefy, so don't give them the opportunity to show you how much damage they can take. Just lay it on them. Okay. Lock on, lock on, lock on. I'm spamming the lock on button. Okay, looks like we're okay. More bolts. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed. Nope, you can't scale this. I've tried a million times. There are going to be some really interesting and obscure platforming opportunities in Stormveil that you would never have noticed until you really looked to see. Like, when I tell you it took me a long time to 100% this place and really find all the items, I mean, it took me hours of running through here to figure out how to get some of these items, because I'm stubborn, man. I refuse to use the wiki. Okay, so we got all of that. Wonderful. So now we're going to start progressing into this part. This part is, if you do it wrong, can be pretty annoying. So we're going to sneak. And what you want to avoid is that. So notice this, right? He blows the horn. Now you got these guys coming after us. You can pull them back towards the grace, you know, there's nothing wrong with being strategic here because you don't have to kill them over there. They throw firebots. Now that thing does do fire damage, right? It's not just for show. Shoo! So these guys, these Stormveil assassin-looking guys, they are not like your typical Godric soldiers. I wouldn't even say they're on like Godric and Knight territory. Like they're even worse than them in some ways. They don't bounce off your shield. If you use Barricade shield, they do, but these guys are not going to be super weak like what we're used to. So stealth goes a long way in Stormveil. If you're sneaky and you're patient, your time spent here isn't going to be so terrible. But you have these guys, right? And we don't really need to worry about them. They're going to start throwing shit at us. So just grab that item. Don't worry about them for now. Now these guys that are sitting around are weak. And for some reason, we're having this problem where our weapon is exactly too weak to kill them in one hit. Whatever. Adds to the challenge. So we have exploding barrels, and we have guys throwing firebots up there. I say don't mess with that just yet. We'll go handle this guy that's over here on the bottom. So with our lantern on, which somehow doesn't completely like ruin our cover, don't know how, but for some reason the lantern doesn't give us away. So we'll let that guy finish that. And you'll notice this guy's bigger, right? He's beefier. He's got a lot more health. We can still kill him in one backstab though, which is nice. You can use these exploding things next to him, these barrels, to like blow him the fuck up, but I say save your ammunition. Just sneak up on him and backstab him. The hook claws. So, Wolverine builds are a thing. 100%. These guys. Weapon worn on the first comprised of sharp parallel blades. Or fist comprised. Favored by those who lurk in the dark. Lacerations cause blood loss with great effect. Claw weapons come in pairs, and two-handing this weapon will equip it to both hands. So I like how they're nice and friendly with the item description, right? They tell you, you get two. So that's all you have to do, is two-hand it, and suddenly you can power stance. It's very cool. And these cause quite a bit of bleed buildup, so if you can find a way to attack with them reliably, which is not easy to do, especially not in this place, it can be a viable weapon, but I'm not going to use them. So, there's firepot number 1. I say let him kind of clear the barrels, you know, let him chuck his first firebomb at you. It's whatever. There we go. I'll do this instead. Okay, that does okay damage. I'm not going to waste any throwing items on him, but I will wait for the firepot to happen, and then we're going to sprint forward. Get rid of that guy. Do not stand around and wait for the other guy to throw one, because the explosions, and we got their shitty straight sword. Yippee. There we go. There we go. Got some sleep arrows. This, I'm kind of excited to show. So, let's do this. We'll put on our short bow, and we will equip these arrows. Check this out. He probably needs to. There we go. So he's asleep. And you see that little icon next to him. It means he can be attacked while he's down. I'll show you. Well, hold on. So you saw that. There's a reason that FromSoft went out of their way to code in an entire I'm sleeping and open to attack critical hit. Because using the sleep arrows is super viable in this game. Like, it might seem like a silly concept, but let me just tell you how wrong that is. The sleep arrows are legit. You can do some really, really creative stuff with the sleep arrows. I'm gonna, damn it, completely mess up my jump is what I'm gonna do. Man, I feel like I'm playing so shitty in this series right now. So I'm gonna grab this. There's a guy above us, so we don't want to stay there. Break these. Let's get this guy. Wow, he stood up so fast. That was kind of funny. And you got this statue here, which is kind of mysterious. You can break it for no reason. Don't know why. But before we go into that locked door over there, let's do this. Here we go. More throwing daggers. This game knows. It knows it's on to me. It knows what I'm trying to do. Alright. So this next part that we're about to take care of is a doozy. Some people are going to have a hard time with this part. Some people are not. But I'm going to show you how, regardless of your skill level, you'll do great. Let's bubble up. Make absolute damn sure that your lantern is on before you open this door. Because you go into this room when it's pitch black. By the end of this cutscene, your ass is going to get kicked. Okay. Got a Banished Knight in here, and you hear that laughing? I'm 100% certain that that's the guy who told us we needed to take the hole in the wall. Like, 110% positive. Yeah, Barricade shield. Taking no shit from this Banished Knight. He just looks scary. And we get the Rusty Key. So you guys know me, especially if you've tuned into my other playthroughs, I like to read these key descriptions. It's no use on this item. It just says opens locked door in Stormveil Castle. It's real informative, huh? Okay, Curved Sword Talisman. This guy enhances your jump attacks, I think? Guard counters. There we go. Yeah. Hey, we didn't equip our second talisman. So the talisman pouch that we got from Margit, that's what it does. It gives us an opportunity to have another talisman. And I think we should equip this guy. It's just good. So we can open this, and we can now go back out. And the door that it was referring to, that can be opened, should be this one. Now, there are big holes in the wall and stuff here, and if you guys see me running past some items, don't worry. We're going to get it all. There's just specific ways to get them. I wonder if the bubble just lasts forever until I get hit. That'd be great. It's a wonderful precaution against that Banished Knight, because when you're locked in that tight space with him and you don't know what's going to happen, it can get ugly. So instead of going that way, I recommend going this way first. So we'll clear some of this. There's a little bit of platforming involved. You got to jump. Watch out for these damn fire pots. And if your weapon is fire imbued, do not hit these barrels. Be careful. So grab this guy. More fire grease. Wonderful. I love it. And we'll jump across. And there's going to be some guys out here, so we got to be careful. Hi there. I don't think so. Eek. No, do not kick me. See what else we got. Nothing. Alright. So here's one item. The brick hammer. So this is going to be your first great hammer that you get if you don't pick up the large club, because apparently, according to the patch notes that I read, you do not get that hammer with the spike on it from that boss anymore. The, what's he called? It slips my mind. Anyway, this is a super cool weapon. It's strong, man. It's got strength scaling. It's pretty fast. It's strike damage. It's heavy, though. It's 12.5 units. It is no joke, but it hits hard. It's certainly heavier than this, but better scaling right out of the gate. It's got to be. Yeah, I mean, if you really enjoy the large club, that is a wonderful item to upgrade to. Okay, and then we're going to end up dropping down there. We're going to have to scale all the way up from up there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's tricky to figure out, and you feel real good when you do it. So without falling to our death, then it's all going to be for that item. Let's go over here, and there's this real nasty guy waiting right here for you. So this guy, see that grab that he does? If he grabs onto you, he'll stab you in the back. It does a lot of damage. So just watch yourself with that guy. Okay, got another guy sitting here. Hey, there we go. The silver pickled fowlfoot. So that's the one that I had just mentioned before, and it will raise your item discovery. If you hear my cat scratching at the door, please ignore him. It is not time to eat. He's just being a butthole. Alright. If you go up the steps, we're going to run into our first banished knight with the halberd. So what we'll do is we'll scale around the edge here. We'll grab this item. And what you want to do is you want to be really, really careful. And, well, no, it's going to be up there. Yeah, not here. Do not drop down right here. Dear God. Don't do that. Instead, we'll work our way up. We'll go into sneak mode. So we're going to be sneaky against this guy. We'll check and see if there's something in the corner here. There's not. Okay. You can hear him walking. You can hear those heavy-ass steps. So, darkness is real good against this guy. If you don't want to fight this guy, you can just cast darkness, right? I don't know why I still have this on. I mean, well, yeah. We can experiment with the arrows against this guy. We'll wait for his little cycle to end. There we go. Wait for him to get far enough away. You can shoot while you're crouched, so. So it takes 3 for him. Oh, wow. He just completely fought it off. He didn't give a shit. So now he has no idea where he's going, right? That attack normally homes in on you. And then he has the darkness thing floating around his head now. It's like he can't see. He can't track you. So, oh wow, we get the halberd on the first guy. That's crazy. It's a pretty good weapon. But you notice the status effect he had, like the darkness around his face, like he couldn't see. That's the appeal of darkness, is it's not necessarily that they have to be inside the cloud in order for it to be effective. They just have to be in the cloud long enough to get the status effect, because then it doesn't matter if the cloud disappears. They're still blind, and they're not going to be able to chase you down or anything. It's great for escaping. So now, I'm going to show you guys how to scale downward and get that item. This is where you want to drop. But mind your footing through here, because falling on the wrong spot does in fact mean death. Right. And then all that bullshit. Okay. Okay, we got through there. I've always wondered if it's possible to get on this railing and then go through that hole right there. I kind of want to try without dying. Oh, goodness. It would help if I would actually jump. Jeez. Sometimes I feel pretty stupid when shit like that happens. Okay, I just want to check through the layers here and just make sure I didn't miss any items. Not that I'm, like, terribly worried about it or anything, but... Here we go. Ah, yes. Yeah, get out of here. And then this guy's gonna come. Roll the fire pot. Nope. Nope. I think not. And then we'll take the ladder. God. Except this guy's got other plans. I'm gonna make him fall, though. Interesting. Not that we needed to get up here at all. How do you feel, man? You could have stayed down there and lived. Okay, just another way in. No matter. So let's go ahead and get back to where we were. This is going pretty smooth so far. Like, Stormveil can be pretty tricky. It's, especially if you don't know what's waiting around every corner. It can be a serious pain in the ass. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go hit our first grace in this place. In this moment of time and space with me, your host, Trace. And don't worry about this lift. You're not going to figure that out. I promise. You're not going to figure it out. Yet. I got you, though. You know you're going to figure it out after I show you. Because I got you. The only thing we're worried about is right here. Our wonderful first grace that's going to be, it's going to be our respawn point for probably a few different deaths, because this place starts to get pretty tricky. You can't level up. That's okay, though. Alright. So, I think that's a great place to stop. We made a lot of progress today. We beat Margit. He's pretty challenging. I'm surprised I beat him on the first try, because even if you know how to beat him and you know what he does, he can always surprise you. So, thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of our in-depth playthrough of Elden Ring. I've been your faithful host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.